Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Abara from TISU Consulting, and welcome to the 12th Building Bridges webinar series. And we sincerely apologize for the technical challenge that we just experienced, and we are so excited to have you here with us as we discuss this very interesting topic, exploring educational scholarship opportunities in Europe and Asia. And when people think about scholarships, they often assume they are only meant for people that do not have the means to achieve their educational dreams. But it's way more than that. And we are going deep into this conversation in this particular webinar series. And here with us this evening is the managing partner of TISU Consulting Limited, Sarah Adjose Adiogun. Good evening, ma'am. So we are so excited to have you here with us. Also here with us is the Managing Director of the Esangbedo Humanitarian Foundation, Mrs. Angela Atonda.
Good evening, everyone. Great to be here as usual.
Good evening. Thank you. So excited to have you here again. And here with us is our speaker, Mrs. Ololade Okorie of Trip Solution Services. Nice to have you here, ma.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Because of the volume of what we'll be covering this evening, we'll be very quick to get to the point. And I'll be calling on the managing partner of TISU Consulting to, this was birthed from an idea. Preparation must start now. For you to achieve anything, you need to know what you are chasing and how you can prepare for it. Most especially, you need to know the value that it brings. And we would like her to discuss just briefly about the value of these scholarships, the value that it brings, not just to us as individuals, but to us as a nation and to a family. So you have the floor, ma.
Good evening, everyone. Let me appreciate Mrs. Ololade Okorie. Thank you very much for being here with us today and for the excellent presentation and the expository presentation you're going to make on this platform. Let me welcome everybody to the 12th Building Bridges webinar. And this time I want to say welcome to all our scholars, because I know that many of us join in as scholars who want to see how we can explore this opportunity to achieve our goals. I welcome you all, and I want to thank the managing director and everybody involved with Esangbedo Humanitarian Foundation and my staff in TISU Consulting who support them for the excellent work they are doing with these webinars. I am truly so proud of all you guys are doing. As chairman of the foundation and managing partner of TISU Consulting, I'm deeply passionate about one thing, and that is about creating structured, credible pathways for migration. Migration itself is not bad. It is a fact of life. Even within this country, we all migrate every day. Many of us do not live in our villages. We have migrated from our villages to the cities. Many of us have migrated from the north to the south, or from the south to the west. Many people in Lagos are not traditionally from Lagos State. That is a form of migration. So migration is part of life. It is how God created life. If you go and read your Bible or your Quran, people migrated. Even Jesus migrated. He wasn't born in Jerusalem. He was born in Bethlehem. He went to Jerusalem, and when they were from the time the world began. It is not bad. But what we talk about is that we want credible migration. We want people to travel legally. And that is why we are running these programs, to give you the information that is required. And through this program, we provide credible pathways for young people to expand the opportunity for them to travel, to migrate legally. Today's theme, which we themed Exploring Educational Scholarships, Opportunities in Europe and Asia, speaks directly to our mission. because education is one of the most credible pathways for migration. And fortunately, through scholarships, we've come to know that migration through the education pathway is not only for those who can afford it. If you cannot afford it, that is why the many scholarships exist. However, for you to be able to leverage these scholarships and use it to meet your aspiration for migration, you need to be prepared. You need to be committed, and you need to be able to meet the requirements for the specific scholarships. And those are the things we are going to discuss today. Education will forever remain one of the most legitimate, structured, and sustainable pathways for legal migration. It is not a shortcut. It is not a gamble. It is a strategy that we can all harness to ensure that we get the value that this can bring to us. And it doesn't depend on the family you were born into. It doesn't depend on how wealthy you are or how wealthy your parents are. It depends on how focused you are, how diligent you are. Everything that is required is within your ambit, and it takes preparation, it takes knowledge, and that is why we are bringing you the information so that when you are making decisions, it will be based on credible information. You do not have to have all the money. You do not have to have the money. I used to head the Shell International Scholarships, and at a point, Shell Scholarships, and we gave indigent students who had met our criteria scholarships to study all over the world. And not just oil companies in Nigeria, we have scholarships globally that help people to meet their aspirations. So at this point, let me say thank you very much. I am also excited. I want to listen. I want to hear so that I can also take this information and harness it, if not for people close to me, even for others, to be able to advise people, whether in church, whether in schools where we go for our citywide programs. You're able to talk to people about opportunities they can harness to meet their JAPA aspirations. Thank you very much, and have an informative session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for that highlight, the overview, and setting the pace at which we'll be running today. And before we call on our guest speaker this evening, I'd like to make welcome the Managing Director of the Asangbedo Humanitarian Foundation to just briefly, very briefly again, just tell us, what was the idea behind this?
Good evening again, everyone. It's so great to be here with us again. And I want to thank TISU Consulting for facilitating this program for us as usual. I want to thank the managing partner, Mrs. Ajose Adeogun, and all she has always done to support us as a foundation. Today, we're here talking about how you can get scholarships to school abroad. When people talk about scholarships, they just say, oh, I want to get scholarship, and they think it's so easy to get scholarship. The same way we're trying to get scholarships here, even people who live born abroad are also vying for these scholarships. I have people who have schooled in America, who are born in America, and they have had to fight for scholarships for them to be able to go to university, because good education is not cheap. So it's not just in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we have the systems failure here, but abroad where they have good education, for you to get good education, you have to work extremely hard for it. It is not cheap. So you find people there looking for scholarships. And then you can imagine you back here in Nigeria trying to fight for the same scholarships people are fighting for in the UK, in the US, in Europe, and in Asia. Today, we're focusing on Europe and Asia because right now we know what's going on in the US. You can't even get the F1 students visas anymore. UK, we know the cost of education abroad. We know the cost of the exchange rate. But we feel you can get better opportunities in Europe and in Asia. So today, we're bringing our sister and our good friend, Mrs. Ololade Okorie, who is a consultant with Trip Consulting Solutions. to come and speak with us today, because this is something that she has. In fact, I would say she's a doyen in it. It's something she's been doing for years. It's something that it's her area. It's something that she has been doing, and she has a very good grasp of it. So I'm not just here today. My daughter, who is also in school, also hoping to get a scholarship for future education, is also on board. So we want to just be able to tell ourselves, how do we go abroad through the education route? Oh, it's expensive, but I assure you that people who are getting totally free education abroad, there are those who are getting partially funded, 50% funded. There are so many opportunities for scholarship, and that's why we say let's bring this to our teaming followers. Let them know that you can actually go to school abroad on as little a budget as your family can afford, because there are scholarship opportunities. And so, with great pleasure in my heart, I'm glad to introduce our speaker today, Mrs. Ololade Okorie, who is a sister and a friend. She's a senior consultant with Trip Consulting Solutions. They are into travel and education consultancy. And I'm sure she'll be able to do this topic justice. And at the end of the day, we'll all be happy we were here. So thank you so much for having us again. And thank you for joining us in this program. We look forward to a wonderful feedback from everyone once we're done today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Welcome everybody once again to this 12th series. I think I've been able to attend so far about 8, and I've spoken. This is the second one I'm speaking in, so it's I'm part of it. So I know that for every time that a topic comes up, we've always learned something from it, and there's always something to take away from for everybody. So today we're talking about exploring educational scholarship opportunities in Europe and Asia. And like my sister just said, why Europe and Asia? Of course, the F1 visa for US is so hard to get now. You won't even get a date for an interview. So it's really difficult. That's why, and you know how immigration issues are right there. That's why we have shifted away a bit and explored other places where you can also look at for your scholarship aspirations. So looking at the table, one of the things we're going to look at here today, the content, we're going to look at to make you understand the difference between scholarship and grants. There are grants, there are scholarships. You're going to understand the difference between scholarship and grants. Then why scholarship? Why do you want to get a scholarship? And then today, because of time, because this morning I still asked, one of the organizers for the slide, I wanted to add some things, and I was thinking, if I add some things to what is already, will 1 hour be enough? So we have decided that we will break it into 2. We will have the undergraduate scholarship session today, and then we'll look at, the other aspect of it, that's the postgraduate, at another time that we will let you know. So why scholarships? Why scholarship in the first place? Oftentimes when we look at scholarship, we always think, I can't get it. It's for special people. But it takes, preparation, timing, and then getting the right documentation, getting your right documentation ready, and then exploring in particular. Because you see, you want to go for scholarship, yes, but there are things that will guide you in where to go for your scholarship. Because aside from it being free, don't forget that you will come back to get a job. And when you are getting those scholarships to come and get a job, it must be a scholarship that is something that you have studied that will get you a job anywhere in the world. That's one of the reasons. So it's not just enough, let me just go. Like the managing partner talked about, she said that in this JAPA series, it's not just going, but it's going with a purpose, going the right way. That's what is important. So what is a scholarship? A scholarship is a financial award given to students to help pay for their education. Some can cover just tuition, some will cover everything. So you have partial scholarships and you have full scholarships. Partial scholarship might do just tuition, and then you take care of your books and your living expenses, while the full scholarship takes care of everything, tuition, books. Some even give you, aid to be able to travel. They give you a certain amount for your flight ticket 1 way.
So what are grants? Grants are awarded based on financial needs. Before you are given a grant, you would already be in the university system, and they find out that you are struggling to pay your fees. They will assist you, either they collect directly or the government will assist you to be able, for example, here we call them, what do we call those things now? Now it has skipped my mind. Bursary. Yes, we call them
bursaries.
We call them bursaries here. But abroad, they are grants. They will help you if you are struggling, to pay certain amount of your school fees. They will help you to meet it up. You will then work and pay it back after some time. So, and you have different types of scholarships. Scholarships at times are awarded on merit. For example, if you look at scholarship like the Chevney Scholarship, the Erasmus Scholarship, those ones are awarded basically on academic merit. So if you are a top-notch student, those are the kind of scholarships you should go for. If you know that, you know your onions academically, you go for merit-based scholarships. Then you have the need-based scholarship. There's some particular countries that have a need of a particular type of job, of job specification. So they will give scholarship based on that. For example, in Asia, for example, sciences is their thing. They like science-based computer and all of that. So most of their scholarships are tailored towards those areas, right? You have subject-based, you have leadership-based, like the Alal Leadership Academy in South Africa. They always do, people who are in school right now, who have shown themselves, in leadership positions, they have, done community service and things like that. Those are the kind of people they are looking for, who they will groom. They know that those ones are going to be leaders in one aspect or the other. So, and like I said before, scholarships can be full or partially funded scholarships. So why scholarship? Why is scholarship important? Scholarship opens doors of opportunities to people which otherwise would have been beyond our reach. For example, if you leave Nigeria to go to another country, you are getting an international, degree, access to global opportunities. When you study in another country, it opens you up to the system of that country. It opens you up to a lot of other things. Networking, and you and I know that networking is one of them. Then it reduces your financial strain. Of course, a scholarship of over 10,000 euros or more, judging by the exchange rates, not everybody can afford that. Then you have a rewarding academic excellence. Scholarship awards don't always end with monetary assistance only. They give you recognition to hard work. They also help you in leadership, talent, dedication, and community impact. So when you go on those things, you know that, for example, if you go to countries like the UK or to China, for example, or in Asia in general, there's some courses that you study that alongside your study, you do internship in the industry of what you are studying. So it's not just going to school like we do here for 4 or 5 years, you are in class. The least that you will do as a science student is maybe you just go for what they call the IT, the industrial attachment. But over there, as you start in your year 1, you're already attached to a company that is into what you are doing. So you are alongside your academics, you're already in the field. So you are already marrying academics with practical as you study. You also have support for personal growth, living and studying in another country. It helps to build independence and confidence because you have left, your home country, your home soil where you are, comfortable with the people around you. When you go elsewhere, you will learn how to save, learn how to budget your money. You will build confidence, and then problem-solving skills. You will be, you'll be open to that. Then you will increase your career prospects. Like I said before, most of the study abroad gives you the opportunity for internship, mentorship, and networking opportunities. And these are, by the time you are most times you are mentored. In the university, they send you out to places where they know that you will get practical experience. And there you will see people who are always open to, to teach young people new things. And then you have open doors beyond your education. We all know the power of networking. International levels, it comes to play. For example, the Chebney Scholarship. The Chebney Scholarship, for example, and the INSEAD alumni, those two are one of the most strongest and the, the most, I think, is the most popular group of alumni that we have, even in Nigeria. Go and check it out. INSEAD and Chebney Scholarship. If you look at, top boards, you will find them there. And of course, if you go for any interview anywhere and they find out that you're an INSEAD or you're a Chebney, of course, it gives you an edge over every other person, because they know, the caliber of what you have been exposed to over there. So let's dive in quickly, because time is not our friend. Let's look at undergraduate scholarships. In Europe, for example, Germany, I think somebody had talked about, the German education here. Sometimes, I think it was the second or the third, if I remember clearly. In Germany, for example, tuition is free and there's scholarship support in public universities. They don't charge tuition in public universities in Germany. The DATE, for example, the DATE scholarship in Germany in particular, is one, and the DATE just talks about, is the German Education Exchange Service. That's what it means, and it has funding. It has funding. I think I have, did I put the link there? Please let me check. If I didn't put the link, then I'll have to send the link independently. And don't forget that this undergraduate scholarship, this scholarship that we're going to be talking about, for this year, most of them are closed. But we're giving you this opportunity so that you know about it and you begin to prepare against the preparation for next year. For example, it starts anytime from July, August this year. So it's for you to begin to put yourself together, find out where you are best suited, and begin to prepare your documentation for that time. So, for example, in Germany now, we said tuition is free and there's scholarship support. Most public universities don't charge tuition in Germany. University of Berlin, University of Bonn, the Goethe University in Frankfurt. The application deadline, for example, for that now is between March and April. Between March and April is when it opens in March, it closes in April. So if you are going to do anything about that, you must have been prepared before now, because you will fill the form, you will submit all your documentation and all of that. Then we go to Hungary. Hungary has, quite a number of opportunities also that are open to science and STEM fields at BSc level. You can see those ones. Remember, we talked about, different types of scholarships. Some are, some are needs-based, some are, subject-based, some are academic. So these ones are specific. They want science and STEM fields at BSc level. Then you have Holland in the Netherlands. These ones give 5,000 euros award for the first year. They give you 5,000 euros award for the first year. Then you have Finland. For example, in Finland now, if you want to learn a skill, vocational college in Finland is free. It's free. When you apply, you get your visa and you transport yourself there. But your feeding, everything, there's no tuition, is free, but it's for vocational studies alone. Vocational studies alone. So if you go to their website, you click on it, you check. If the kind of vocation that they're studying there is what you want, then you can apply there. Then, in particular, nursing in Germany is free. That website there takes you to various hospitals that will sponsor your scholarship. So studying nursing in Germany is based on the medical facility. They are the ones who will do the application for you. They are the ones who will send the letter directly to the embassy so that you can process this after you have gone through all their various things. Remember, we're talking about undergraduate scholarships here. And of course, I just want to, because I like these two schools, I just want to mention it because I know that there are quite a number of people that have gone there, that I know of, and they are very good. Berea College, theirs start in August, but you have to prepare your documentation before that. is one of the very, very good schools, you know, that have always given opportunity to Africans. Perea College in Kentucky is 100%, you know, full scholarship. Then you have the Dartmouth College also in Deep Spring, California. So that is another very good one. But of course, we all know what the visa, well, I just could not resist but put it there because those two schools have always been my top this thing. Then in Asia, Asia has become very popular due to its low tuition or no tuition at all. And because the living conditions there are favorable, you will know, I'm sure you must have seen a lot of this thing online, a lot of talks online, you know, Nigerians saying, come to China, come to this, come to that, come to Malaysia, and because they know that, you know, it's opening up. There are top government scholarships, and you apply directly from the embassy here. You know, if you look at it, you see in Japan there, the link is there. You go online, you will see it there. The applications are between April and May against next year. So it means when you do this one here, now, April, May now is for 2027, not for 2026 again. You apply through their embassies. You go to their embassies, you'll be able to get all the information that you want. And I think the links, same thing goes for Korea. The government, most of the Asian scholarships are government-sponsored scholarships. And you always apply. For example, in Korea now, you apply to the individual university, and you can see their preference there. Science and engineering, mainly. Like I said before, science and engineering. Those are, you know, where their strengths are. In Vietnam also, we have merit-based only, covering tuition and monthly stipends in science majors. You will notice that the Asian, you know, scholarships are mostly science-based. Most times, they are mostly science, because that is where their strength is. Of course, you can see all the inventions and everything, you know, coming in from Asian countries. And then in Taiwan, you have International Higher Education School. You know, in whatever it is you're going to apply for, like we said before, we will not be looking at the postgraduate today. Whatever it is you want to apply for, what determines your destination if you want to go and study, right? What determines what determines, you know, what you are going to study? What determines where you are going to study, not what now, because you already know what you want to study. But what determines your destination? One, your field of study and likely post-study requirements. Like we have told you now, in Asia, sciences are, you know, are their main thing there. You will get what you want, you know, in Asia. If you want practical experience, you will get it in Asia, your field of study. And then likely post-study requirements. If after you study, what are you going to do after that? You must find that out. And then the climate and location. Not everybody will survive well in a very, very cold. So you have to find out. If you're somebody like me who doesn't like too much, you must find out, can you cope, you know, in that particular, you know, climate? So find that out, you know, find out the maximum temperature and all of that, or minimum temperature in extreme times, so that you know if you can cope. Then sometimes we all need family support. Family and friends support system is important, so that you don't just be very lonely where you are, you know, because we all need, you know, even though you will make friends, yes, you can't rule that out. You can always be the first Nigerian in that country, but of course, it's good to have a support system not too far away. Once in a while, you just want to take a train, maybe 2 or 3 hours away to something, just to see family and friends, you know, just to feel a part of. Then the best university of choice for your particular, for what you want to study. What is the best university in that place for what you want to study? Don't forget that you might need to migrate at some particular time somewhere else. Will that degree be acceptable somewhere else? You must consider that. Then work prospects, even during study. As a student, you are in most countries, you are allowed to work for particular hours. What are those work prospects? You must find that out, because you will always need small change. Even if you are sponsored, you will need small change. So you must also consider that. Then what are the elements of the scholarship that makes it attractive to all? Like I said before, there's some scholarships that will give you internship opportunities. gives you mentorship opportunities, and also give you placement opportunities. So you must, find that out. We are giving you these tips so that when you are doing your research, you are looking at those points and you are able to narrow down to where exactly will suit you the best. And then the ratings and the rankings. Every university has a rating and a ranking globally. You must check that so that you don't just go to a university that when you come back, nobody can Google the name or nobody can Google the. So you must find that out too. Be very intentional about where you want to go, what you want to study. Then immigration considerations. It's not, I know that for Nigerians, it's not just to go and study. You want to stay back. So find out what is the immigration progression after study. What do you need to do? Just like the UK now. It used to be 2 years after study. Now it has come down to 18 months. Only God knows what will happen next. So you have to find that out and be sure, what the immigration considerations are before you. Then acceptability of your degree in other countries. Make sure that it is, if the ratings and the ranking of the university is good, then the degree will be acceptable, in other countries. But do your due diligence. Search that too. It's not enough just to have a scholarship to study anywhere, but you want to be sure that the university is on the ranking also. Then prevailing immigration pathways. What are your different options? What are your different options for immigration, pathways? Find that out also. Then we want to look at the general requirements. Generally, for whatever scholarship, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, what are the general, so for undergraduate study, you must have strong academic grades. That's a given. Have strong academic grades. Remember, the first thing is that the scholarship itself is competitive. So you must have an edge over every other person. Academically, be well. Then language proficiency. Not every country requires it, but for where it is required, TOEFL or IELTS. You can see that one of the universities that I like there those ones accept Duolingo, and Duolingo is so easy to pass, but you must have TOEFL or IELTS. That's text of English for foreign test of English as a foreign language, and your international English testing. But you must have those two. You must have either of them, and it states, your grades. If you look at their requirements, some you must have a particular grade in a computer-based or written or whatever. So find that out and know exactly what each one you are applying for, has a preference to. Then you must personally write your statement, a strong personal statement. It's like a motivational, statement that helps to sell. In this statement, you are selling yourself. You want to tell them why you want to come and study that particular course in that university and what you hope to achieve by studying that. You must put a good word in for yourself. Yes, that's the word. Put a good word in for yourself. And then you will need school reference letter and your testimonial. You will need a good school reference letter and your testimonial. Then for you as an undergraduate, right now you are in school, participate in extracurricular activities. Don't just be reading and reading. Be a part of something. Do community service. Be a part of is it Jets Club or junior achievement? Yes, junior achievement, Jets Club or some. Participate in, volunteer. Be always open to leadership, opportunities anywhere. Serve. Because you see, all these things that you are doing, are those things. Because when you are filling, for example, I know when you fill the forms, for example, there's a place that gives you space to talk about things that you have been involved in. If you don't have anything to put there, one way or the other, you have just shortchanged yourself. So be active. Participate in school extracurricular activities. Be a part of it. Then, of course, you must have an international passport if you want to travel. Then you must apply early and apply wide. What I mean by apply wide, one is not enough. I know people who have done 20, 30 scholarship applications. Bible says, cast your bread upon many waters. apply wide, apply early too. Apply wide, apply early, because that's exactly what is going to help you. The more that you apply for, the better for you. And then give yourself a time frame. Right now, we're talking about, for example, right now we're talking about next year. So it means from now, you are doing your research. What schools are out there? Okay, I want to study this. What is it that I need to have? What universities am I looking at? In what countries? Write it down. What are their requirements? What are their timelines? Because you are doing it now against next year. So start early and begin to put those things down one by one, right? And if I were you, don't do ChatGPT personal statement too. Let ChatGPT help you, at least to know the structure. But don't copy it, verbatim. Of course, you know yourself now. Use ChatGPT as a guide, because if you are not careful, there are ways to find out if your personal statement, was just verbatim from ChatGPT. So use it as a guide to know what the body of the whatever should be. So use it and then build up your own essay from it, and that's really how to go about it. We would like to entertain some questions so that it doesn't just be that we're talking and talking and talking. Let's entertain some questions. Yes, Benjamin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you so much. While you were speaking, I was just jotting down things, and
Okay.
although towards at a point you were answering some of the questions I wrote down.
Okay.
So there was an area that you spoke on, and this question came to mind, that beyond academic excellence, what
Yes.
differentiates two students with similar grades, assuming they have similar grades,
Yes.
they have similar prospects in a competitive undergraduate scholarship? Yeah, so what
Yes.
differentiates them?
For
What will set
example,
them
remember I
apart?
mentioned extracurricular activities now. I mentioned
Yes.
volunteering. You see,
Okay.
it is not every job that you do that you must get paid for. But you see, whatever it is you do, if you are good at it, and they record and they actually tell you that this thing that you did was very nice, tell them, can I get a recommendation? Get a recommendation from them there. Let them write you something that during this time this person did so and so. He was very good at it. He was very this. He was. Those are just additions. That alone, you are good academically, yes, but you are also a social person. So that is what will, because it's not enough just to be no, all A's and all of that, and then you cannot socialize well. You cannot mix up well. You are not somebody who can contribute. So always be open to volunteering. Participate well in school activities. I'm sure now I think there's so many other clubs and groups in schools now. Jets Club. There's I think junior achievements. Yes, there's junior achievement now, and then so many others. There's even I think there's Rotaract. Yes, the adult one is called Rotarian. The younger ones, they're called Rotaract. So join all those, because all those things, they are globally known and they engage in community service. Red Cross is one of those other things. And don't just be an academic person alone, engage in other activities, that will help to boost, your personal image.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. Thank you. So while you are still talking about that and engaging in all these activities, so while we are talking about this and engaging in all these activities that could further support in doing the scholarship applications. So what I was thinking is that for a secondary school student now, at what point should they, or what class in your secondary school journey should you start considering putting all these activities in place? Or as a secondary school student who is just preparing for the WAEC. So at what point should they start putting together all these structures? And in essence, when does their preparation start?
Yes, for a secondary school student, for example, preparation starts just before the end of SS2.
Okay.
Remember I said, for example, now, if you are in if you just finished SS2, that is June, July. They go on holiday in August. That is when to start. Because some of the schools start their work in August, especially for undergraduates. Some start in August. And then by the following year, February, March, April, they're already having interviews for those who have been selected for the September, intake. So you can see that it marries itself, like that. So you must give yourself that timing so that you are able to meet up. So end of SS2 is the right time for an undergraduate to start.
Okay, thank you so much. We have some questions on the on YouTube. So someone asked, how do we navigate the language barrier in non-English speaking countries?
Yes. That's why, well, the world is now a global village. That's why, like, remember I said, when you are choosing, be sure that it is a course that it agrees with you. Because most countries, for example, in Germany now, you will do 6 months of language. If you will see it, whatever it is you are applying for, whatever course you are applying for, you will see German/English. So it means that it has English, and you can also study only in German. So it depends. So if you see one that is fully German and you are not a language savvy person, of course, you will not. There are some people who in 3 months, even when they get there, they already, they can converse well. We're all different. Some people, if you are there for 5 years, they will not know anything. So if you know yourself, that's why you will choose something that you know. Most times they do 6 months of language. But if you don't want to waste time on that, just go for an English one that has English, as a language of instruction there, because it will help you to progress easily. There was a hand up. I think Oluwade Okorie was up before. Her hand was up before. Okay, maybe the question has been answered. Okay. Yes, continue, Benjamin. Yes.
Okay. Okay, the hand is back up. So can the admin unmute so she can ask her question?
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Okay,
evening.
good evening.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much, ma, for the informations. I would like to ask, apart from, in Nigerian universities, they have to have their O-level results and their JAMB. Are there other exams that need to be done for those for someone seeking for admission into foreign university? Because some people will say they write TOEFL exam, SAT, and all sorts of. So I want to find out if there are other exams they need to write to be able to apply for those scholarships.
Okay, for the undergraduates, like I said before, aside from your WAEC, all you need is your TOEFL or IELTS. And it's not every university that asks for that. That's why you will check the requirements. It's not all of them. Because our language of instruction in Nigeria is English, most times that is waived for us. Most universities waive it for Nigerians because they know that we are taught in English. But you have to also just find out what the requirement for that particular university is. But aside from WAEC, for undergraduates, aside from WAEC, there's no other requirement aside from that English testing proficiency. And most times it is waived depending on the university or the country. But aside from your O-level WAEC, there's no other requirement. For O-level for undergraduate studies, there's no other serious requirement that is that you need.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful question. So I know when you were talking about the personal statements, you mentioned the we are in the AI season now, so almost everything is AI this, AI that. And yes, so outside the AI components that support people in writing, what are some red flags you've observed in personal statements or some of these documentations that needs to be sent that we often make mistakes?
Well, you will see the personal statement as somebody giving you, to write a composition about yourself. You will
Okay.
first of all, there will be an introduction, there will be a body. Because like I said before, that personal statement is like you trying to sell yourself. How best can you sell yourself? So that is really what the statement is about. Somebody now asks me now, okay, who are you? What can you do? So that's really what you will answer there. You will introduce yourself. You are so and so person. That you say your age, and then you will tell them that, okay, you've always, and whether you like it or not, storytelling is good. I've always loved to do this and this. I'm always intrigued by this. That is why I want to study. Just sell yourself. Sell yourself. That's really what the personal statement is about. Let the person who is reading it, be eager to talk to you more about this thing that you are talking about here. That's really what the personal statement is. That's why even though ChatGPT will help you because even ChatGPT will ask you when you say, I want to write a personal statement, to ask you what are your strengths? What do you like doing? What is your interest? So that's the same question you will ask yourself before you start writing. What are your strengths? What do you like doing? What do you have a passion for? Those are the things. If anybody wants to try, just Google it on chat to ask you, what do you like doing? What are your passions? What are your strengths and all of that? So those are the kind of questions you will answer also in that personal statement that will help to sell yourself, in your personal statement. And that statement, I tell you, is always very important. It's very, very important. If you fill most of the forms, you have to upload that statement. So if I were you as an undergraduate, I will write it. I will start writing it now, give it to my English teacher to correct for me. Give it to my English teacher to make corrections, to guide me on it, because it's something that before they even get to talk to you, it sells you first of all.
Yes.
It sells you first of all. That's your selling point. That's what draws them to you, that, okay, this child has said so and so. Let's even talk to the child. Let's hear more, about the child. I've done this. When I was in this, I participated in this. It's like somebody who is going for a job and they just ask you, okay, aside from your degree, we have seen your very nice, you have done very well in school, but what can you do? Or who is so and so? Then that is the time for you to sell yourself. And if you don't know how to sell yourself, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you so much. Before I'll call on the MD of EHF and our managing partner to come on, just one last question. So if for the Nigerian students that are watching, and if you could give just 3 strategic actions for preparation over the year, assuming they're preparing for next year cycle, what will be those suggestions, those advice, or those focus areas of actions? If you could give 3.
Yes. One is to be sure exactly of what you want to go and study, because that will guide your choice and your location. Like I told you before, like we said before here, that in Asia, the sciences is what they're looking for. So that is the first thing. Understand what you want to go and study, so that you kind of narrow down your location, so that you don't just, do everything. You narrow down your location. And then the second thing that you will help yourself with is do well in school. Don't compromise on that at all. Do well in school. Because of course, if it's to do well in school, I don't think there's any other country that will beat Nigerians. People do well in school here. It's not, so you have to get that extra edge. If you are doing well, then do very well. Be at the top of your game. And then, like I said, lastly, don't just take academics alone. Don't just be engaged in academics alone. Do something else. And this also goes for the postgraduate people. That in particular in the postgraduate study, volunteering work tells a lot about who you are. If you don't give back, you don't. It's like companies these days. Companies want to do CSR, and they will put a big signboard there. What do you think they are trying to say? That they are also giving back to the community where they are. The same thing. So the same thing too. If you don't give back here, and you want to go abroad where people are into, you see people who are still working to survive. They still give to charity.
Yeah.
They still give to charity, you know. So it just shows that it's not just about the academics alone. Do something for community also. Be involved, you know. And like I said, whatever it is you do, you're not doing it because of the recommendation, but the recommendation will go a long way for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it because of let them just tell them about it. I'm applying for so and so, and I don't mind if you could give me. They will willingly, if you have done the job, if you have done that work from the bottom of your heart, they will give it to you. They will give you. So you are not doing it because of them giving you a recommendation, but you know, it's also a part of it. Because when you do it here, when you go out, it will not become, you know, something that they have to force you to do it. It's already a part of you. So those three things, I think, will help you stand out in whatever application that you put out there for scholarship. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for such an amazing session. There are a lot of questions we would have kept asking, but we have to be time conscious. So at this point, I would like to make welcome the Managing Director of the Sangbedo Humanitarian Foundation to just give us some closing, and before we'll go to the Managing Partner, TISU Consulting. So you have the floor, Mrs. Angela.
You know, as I said we're going to be having a veteran in this space speaking with us. And indeed, she has addressed so much. I just have one small question someone had asked, you know, and the person said, what is the place of sports and talent in trying to get these scholarships, whether for an undergraduate or for postgraduate? So can we just shed a bit of light on that?
Yes. Like I remember in the beginning, I said some are merit-based, academic, need-based also. For example, in UAE countries now, sportsmen get good scholarship because of everybody wants to go to the Olympics, and they are looking for people who will, you know, help them. So for sports, it depends on what your sport, whatever is. If you are very good at it, for example, if America was open up now, basketball is where they always get, you know, those kind of, you get good scholarships, you know, in basketball, in track and field. But aside from that, if you're a good footballer too, Spain has good scholarship for you, you know. UAE has good scholarships for you, you know. All of those places help in those scholarships too. But you have to be sure that you are good, and then you have to belong to, for example, in football in particular, you must belong to a local club here first, because they will get a recommendation from them. That I know. You must belong to a local club here, you know, and you have it doesn't have to be a club. Let me not say club now, academy. Yes, let me not say club, because because you are still in school, you might not be actively playing. But there's an academy that you attend maybe during holiday. If you are a day student, every weekend or something, you know, you must belong, because they would also ask your coach there to fill a form. So you must have that background, you know, behind you.
Mrs. Okorie, we can't thank you enough. It's so wonderful to always have your insights into these things. And I think it's been an eye-opener, especially in regards of timing, because people just think, oh, I want to apply for scholarship. It's a 6 months issue. But we've seen today that sometimes it takes up to a year. Even those ones telling you opens from March to April. March to April is just for you to submit your documentation before they start their vetting process and all that. So it's good to have heard all this. And I personally, I'm now looking forward to the next episode, which is on the postgraduate, because we've had a lot of people who are postgraduates saying, oh, it seems it's just the undergraduates that get scholarships. So it's good to know that we're also going to have some information for people who are going for postgraduate studies. And I really want to thank you, because this has been so insightful. You've really taken out time to look at what we asked you to do, and we're quite impressed with it. So thank you very much. And I'm honestly looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
MP, if you can please just speak on behalf of the House and Tisu Consulting.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Okorie. I am so glad, this is something that is really impactful, and by God's grace, more lives will be changed and touched. More people will watch this video and they will get the required information, because information is king. Based on the right information, you can make the right decisions that can potentially change your life and your trajectory. Yes. And this expository session has contributed to knowledge sharing, knowledge information that people can use to make decisions that are based on sound, non-refutable facts that can change their lives. So thank you very much. And for all those who joined us on today's episode, thank you very much. And like Mrs. Okorie said, we'll be coming up with opportunities in the postgraduate sector. And in that session, I will also share opportunities that are locally available, scholarships that are locally available that you can harness for international benefits. Because I know that when I was head of scholarships, we used to pay 100%, even up to your allowance abroad, but you needed to meet the requirements of the scholarship. And that is what is key. So we will share the requirements of different scholarships and tell you how you can work to meet each and every one of them. So thank you very much, and let's have a good day, a good week, and a good month. A wonderful 2026. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Mm.